Imagine walking through the vibrant streets of Sicily, surrounded by the mesmerizing sounds of the Italian language. A year ago, that was me. I was captivated by the beauty of the language, and so I set myself on a mission to learn Italian. Ciao amici e benvenuti, I'm Rick, and in this video I'm going to share my journey of learning Italian over the past year whilst balancing work, hobbies and life with no magical shortcuts. If, like me, you've always dreamed of learning a new language, you've probably come across a few videos on the internet claiming you can become fluent in a month. Let's get real. Those Learn Italian in 7 days videos are pure fantasy, especially if you're starting from scratch, like myself, juggling a full-time job, and your only Italian friend is Google Translate. But if we fast forward 365 days from when I started on this journey, I've reached a milestone that I'm proud of. I've reached the A2 level, according to an online survey that I took. Now, A2 might not sound that glamorous, but it does mean I can hold simple conversations, I can ask and answer basic questions, and I can understand everyday phrases. This is going to be perfect for my upcoming trip to Italy, and I feel like I'm going to thoroughly enjoy using the learnings that I've taken away from this past year of language learning. And hopefully, if like me, you're just starting out on your language learning journey, you'll be able to glean a few insights from what I have to say. Here are the 4 key methods that I've used this last year. Number 1, download Duolingo. It's a fantastic app, especially if you allow yourself to get immersed in the gamification of it. Get competitive, compete in the leagues. It's fun and it's great for acquiring that initial base level of vocabulary. It's not great for conversations, but it's a fantastic portable solution that enables you to learn languages on the go wherever you are. Number 2, podcasts. There's hundreds of podcasts out there for learning languages. One that I've particularly enjoyed is called Coffee Break Italian. It's a fantastic podcast thanks to its unique structure with one teacher, one student and one native Italian speaker. And also it's worth noting that this podcast doesn't just exist for Italian, it also exists for a range of other languages. The teacher, Mark, guides the sessions, ensuring they're accessible and educational, whilst the interactions between the student, Katie, and the native speaker, Francesca, offers an opportunity and presents use of the language in a natural setting where corrections are given, common mistakes are made, and common questions are asked. I'd thoroughly recommend it. I've learned a lot. The next method is YouTube. This is a fantastic method for when you're tired in the evenings and you just want to sit on the sofa and watch some light-hearted entertainment. A great channel which I've learned a lot through is called Easy Italian. They actually have specific videos where they talk in slow Italian, which really helps you to hear each word and gives you the time needed as a beginner to understand what they're saying. This, tied with Italian and English subtitles, makes it a fantastic resource to massively improve your listening comprehension, but also your reading comprehension. They engage in everyday Italian situations, so the vocabulary that you do acquire is very useful. The 4th and final method that I used to learn Italian was reading an Italian novel, specifically Il ragazzo dagli occhi neri by Laura Mancinelli. This was the most challenging, but also by far the most rewarding method that I've used to date to learn Italian. I got the book from the library, and I'd thoroughly recommend that you find a novel, an engaging story in your target language to get your teeth stuck into. I used a few apps on my phone to help me read the novel. Specifically, I actually built a piece of software, which I've now called Lingopaper, which enabled me to take photos of a page and translate each word that I didn't understand. Occasionally I used Google Translate, which has similar functionality, but it enabled me to translate a whole page at a time when I was feeling a little lazier and didn't want to read the Italian. But most of the time I used Lingopaper to read the original Italian and translate only the words that I didn't understand. This enabled me to become really immersed in the novel and find a flow whilst reading the Italian rather than kind of getting caught up in the translation process. through this method I learned a load of vocabulary, I saw the language in a natural context, and also it taught me the past tense and the future tense, which I've had zero exposure to through the other methods. I'd thoroughly recommend you pick up a book from your library or your local bookstore or a foreign bookstore whilst you're traveling and give it a try. Another tip that I have that's worked really well for me is having a language learning buddy. In my case, it's my girlfriend Emily. She's also learning Italian, and that's made it great because we can bounce ideas off of each other, we can have small conversations, and also we can compete a little bit on Duolingo. Some mistakes that I've made are perhaps not writing enough. I think what I've found is when I've tried to engage with Italians to date, sometimes the words don't come to me instantly, and I think that skill of recall only really comes through writing and also, of course, through speaking. So one of my goals for the next year is to maintain my input but also start to output a little more. So after a year, I'm not just more knowledgeable in Italian, but I've discovered an appreciation for the process of learning. It's not about the fast track to fluency, it's about the smaller victories and those milestones that you reach along the way, like reading a novel, that really make it worth it and an enjoyable experience. So if, like me, you're dreaming of becoming fluent in another language or two, I'm excited to share this journey with you, and I'd love to hear about your experiences, your tips and your methods in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a like, and if you want to see more content on language learning, travel and culture, feel free to check out my channel and join me as I continue to explore this beautiful world and the many languages that it holds. Grazie mille e arrivederci. Ciao!